Hi, welcome back. I'm Mari-Lyn. Thank you for joining me for more recovery talk. I've been sober for over 13 years, and it still amazes me when my brain, my ego, tries to convince me that it's okay to drink. I just got back from vacation, and last week, the day before we left, I found out that I was not going to be able to see something I was looking forward to seeing. We have gone almost every year to the national championship air racing. And my favorite airplane during qualifying blew his engine. And it was bad enough that they were done for the year. Now the airplane will fly again, but not for the races. And I was just heartbroken. I was devastated. And I swear I read somewhere where they had already loaded the airplane on the trailer and had headed back home. I was devastated. I was so sad. I really didn't even want to go anymore. Now, I'm sure some of you are just thinking, oh my God, don't be so dramatic. I was being a little dramatic, I will admit it. On top of all of this, this was the last year for this event. And so it was, it was like pouring salt on a wound. So my, my husband had already decided that he has a nice bottle of, I don't even know what it is. He doesn't drink very much anymore, but he wanted to have a shot and have a final toast with all of our friends. We meet the same people at this event every year for decades. So what is this, 2023, and I met these people for the first time in 1984. My husband met them like in 1978, I want to say. Yeah, I want to say 1978 was when he met them. So anyways, know these people for a long time. And so he's wanted to do a toast. So I have this devastating news, and we're just sitting in the evening, we're watching TV. My brain says to me, Mari-Lyn, you could have a toast with them. It would be okay. You would be fine. It's just one shot, one drink. You can do this. You're okay. And it was literally almost like somebody standing there talking to me. I start laughing and I tell my husband, I said, oh my gosh, my brain is so stupid. He looked at me, and so I told him what I heard my brain telling me. He sits up in his chair and he says, no, dear, that wouldn't be okay. You would not know. I said, no, I agree. No. But this is a perfect example of how our egos, how that disease can try to trick us, to come back, to pull us in. My husband did have a toast with all of these wonderful people. And I toasted. I had my water, and I was there with them. I'm so blessed that I wasn't triggered by the drinking. The smell, oh my gosh, was appalling. But I appreciate that I was close enough to smell it, because it's a reminder to me of how dangerous it could be. And as appalling as the smell was, I have no doubt that if I were to take it a drink, it wouldn't be one shot, wouldn't be one drink. I can literally, sitting here talking about this, I can literally imagine just drinking it, just drinking the whole bottle. And then I can imagine everything that follows. The shame and the guilt as I'm drinking, the everything I've just thrown away, so I might as well just keep going, the inability to stop once I came to a point of wanting to stop, the inability to not have more is so ingrained because I experienced that feeling for so many years of wanting to stop and not being able to. There's those of you that have been there, you know what I'm talking about. For someone who's listening who's not an alcoholic, and if you're listening to me and you're not an alcoholic, you have someone in your life that is an alcoholic, and I thank you for listening. And I'm hoping that I can be thought-provoking for not only the alcoholics and the addicts that watch this, but for people that have alcoholics in their life. When we are in the midst of our disease and we want to stop, that inability to stop has nothing to do with willpower. It has nothing to do with our morals. It has nothing to do with anything other than we physically cannot stop. That compulsion is so much greater than we are. And I know this, and I can feel that as I'm talking about it. And when I smelled that, that was actually on this past Sunday, a couple of days ago, when I could smell the alcohol, it all came back. The rage that would ensue eventually, I would have enough, the rage would kick in, and then the raging would continue, but then the blackout would come. And I'm not talking pass out, I'm talking blackout, where I'm still functioning, I'm still raging, I'm still drinking, but I don't know any of it. I've left. I'm checked out, blacked out, don't know. So grateful that I know I don't have to drink anymore. So grateful that I know the dangers of picking up a drink again. No! Danger, 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 danger. I cannot do it. It would literally be killing myself. It might be a very slow death. Slow and painful and awful. What I do know is that since getting sober and on top of getting sober, healing, because there's so much more to sobriety than just not drinking, so much more to it. The healing portion is really what allows us to, for the most part, recover from alcoholism. Yes, I am always an alcoholic, but I don't have to wear it on my sleeve. I don't have to not go down the liquor aisle at the grocery store. We're in Oregon, we don't have liquor in the grocery store. But the wine, the beer, I don't have to avoid that. I don't have to avoid people who are drinking. I do. because it's really not a lot of fun to have a conversation with someone who's drunk. I don't have to do that anymore. Because I know I don't have to drink. I'm not going to drink. I don't want to drink. I know the dangers of my ego, of the disease, of trying to get me to go down that slippery slope. Just like that evening, my brain telling me, you'd be okay. You could have a toast with all those people. You'd be okay. You could do this. No, I can't. Yes, I'm always alcoholic, but I do not suffer from alcoholism anymore. I don't. And the reason is all of the reasons that led me up to being alcoholic, that wounding, I've healed. I have healed so much. Are we ever fully healed? No. I hate to say it. I wish we were, but we're not. So the healing piece is such a bolster to sobriety. It allows us to, I was going to say rediscover who we really are, but it allows us to be who we are in our highest vibrational form when we can find sobriety and then heal all of those wounds. We can heal that hole that we were trying to fill with the alcohol. So I want to talk a little bit about the things that we can do when the ego tries to trick us into that slippery slope. And one of the most important things, I believe, is verbalization. Tell someone. When we have those thoughts, and we're going to have them, even if they're not thoughts of drinking, just thinking of a drink, reminiscing about drinking, tell someone. I tell my husband every time. Absolutely every time I think of what might go good with dinner. If it's a hot summer day and a cold beer sounds good. I was going to say not even a beer, just a cold something. But no, there are times a cold beer sounds good. And I tell him, it's very true that when we verbalize something, it takes some of the power away from it. When we don't speak it, when we don't tell someone, when we keep that a secret, right? We keep that bottled up, okay? We swallow it, we push it down, and we ignore it, okay? It's going to sit down lower, but it's going to sit there, okay? So maybe 6 months goes by, never another thought. However, we have a thought and we don't tell anybody. Another 6 months goes by. Okay, it compounds. It's still down here. It compounds every time. Pretty soon, all of that compounding, it overtakes us. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've heard the stories and I believe it. I know at the very depths of my soul for it to be true because I can feel it. In those times where I've waited, because I've had thoughts of drinking and not said anything for a couple of days. In those few days' time, it compounds. It's like every day that goes by, it's almost, it multiplies. It's crazy how it does that, but it does. It multiplies. At least for me. If it does it for me, it's going to do it for other people too. There's absolutely no doubt. So speak it to somebody. Preferably the person that is closest to you in your everyday life. Hopefully this is a person that's got your back. If you don't have somebody that's got your back, if you have somebody who's going to encourage you to that slippery slope, then maybe they're not the best person to tell. Maybe you need to phone a friend. Maybe you have a friend, a contact. Maybe you know somebody from a meeting. And I'm going to tell you this. If you have a phone list from a meeting that you don't go to anymore, it's okay. You can still pick up the phone and you can call anyone on that list. And if that person can't answer or can't talk to you, it's okay. Hang up and call someone else. If you happen to know your neighbor and they're out in the yard, go talk to your neighbor. It's okay. It is so okay to verbalize when we are in danger. And I firmly believe, I don't care how sober you are, how solid you are in your sobriety, because I'm pretty solid in my sobriety. I'm not going to lie, I am. However, I know I can lose it like that. And I am worth not losing my sobriety over. I am so worthy of the life I have now. My husband is worth the life we have now. He is worthy of having a wife that is sober and healing. Because, like I said, we're never healed. But healing. Talk to somebody. If you have absolutely nobody to tell, write it down. Brain to hand to pen to paper will help take the power out of it. And then after you've written it down, destroy the paper. Rip it up, burn it, shred it, get rid of it. Because you don't want to have that vibration hanging around, because it does. If nothing else, speak it out loud. Spirit hears you. Spirit, God, source, your higher self. I don't care what you call your higher power. It doesn't matter if you're religious, if you're not religious. It doesn't matter. Speak it out loud. The universal energies, spirit hears you and has your back. So if just speaking it out loud to the powers that be, that's good. That's good. Because I know not everybody has an immediate support system that lives with them. And I know that not everybody has someone that's got their back. You do. Spirit's always got your back. But sometimes that's hard to realize. Even I know that there are people out there who are in recovery that struggle with the higher power concept, with God, with source, with spirit. I know that there are people that struggle with that. And if you can allow yourself a little bit of trust, your higher self, go there first. Your higher self has got your back. Your higher self is that little voice that says, no, you wouldn't be okay, and you're worth not drinking. That's spirit. That's your higher self. And the ego's over here going, yeah, you'd be okay. You'd be fine. It's one drink. You'd be fine. Not a problem. No, it's a problem. So speaking it out loud, I guess that's really for me the main thing that I do when I have those thoughts. I speak it. I tell my husband. I keep him in the loop around all of the times when alcohol crosses my brain. I'd say 95%. Sometimes, yeah, I work from home. He doesn't. He works outside the home. So we don't spend all day together. So if I'm watching a show and they have alcohol on it, of course, I'm not telling him about that. But when I have that thought or that, I don't get cravings like what I used to have, like the cravings of early sobriety. But I do get those romanticizing moments, those reminiscent times of thinking about holding a brandy glass, or what kind of wine am I going to have while I'm cooking dinner? I mean, those kind of weird things, sure, they still pop into my head because that was all part of my life for so many years, many more years than the 13 I've been sober. Because I didn't get sober until I was 48, I think. So, yeah, I think I was 48. Actually, I wasn't. I think I was 47. And then 3 weeks later, I turned 48. It was my 48th birthday when I went to my first meeting. So, yeah, many more years of drinking than what I have experienced so far in sobriety. So, of course, it's only natural that certain thoughts and those memories and reminiscing is going to pop up. But I speak it. And then the next thing I do is I have to look inside and go, okay, what's going on? Is there something I want to hide from? Is there something I want to ignore? Is there something that I'm in fear around? Is there something triggering me that makes me think about alcohol? Because wounding, having that hole that we're trying to fill, is exactly why we become addicts. It's why we become alcoholics. We're trying to fill that. And so I have to look inside and go, okay, what's going on? Am I bored? Am I stressed? Am I triggered? What is happening? And I can usually figure it out pretty quickly now. My relationship with spirit is, wow, something that I never even thought that it could be. My relationship with myself is something that I never thought that it could be. And so I am able to ask those hard questions, and usually pretty quickly I can come up with the answer and then do something about it. And it usually will involve, I got to talk to somebody. And not like talk therapy. I did. I went to a therapist before I ever went to a meeting, and I don't have to see a therapist anymore because of all the healing I've done. However, I still talk to my support system. Now, my biggest support system, aside from my husband, is of course my partner Pam. And sometimes I have to work it out, either having her listen to me so I can speak it out loud and get feedback. But sometimes, yeah, I absolutely have to ask her, help me. This is my issue. How can you help me work through it? And she's always right there to help me. So what that's leading me to is this. If you need help working through the issues that are causing you to think about drinking, that slippery slope, find someone to talk to. If you can't find someone to talk to, you can find me on our website at tcseveryday.psychics.com. And there is you can message me through there, you can email me. There are so many different ways to maneuver through those slippery slopes. And for people who are all alone, I know it can be scary. And you don't have to white knuckle it. You don't. There's meditations on this podcast channel, on the YouTube podcast channel, theconsciousspirit.net, or the Conscious Spirit podcast, on YouTube. Pam has, she's been putting out Fred's Meds, weekly meditations. Some of those will absolutely be helpful in those times of slippery slope. But speaking out loud, looking inside, talking to somebody, talk to your higher self. Get to know yourself. Talk to your physical body. Ask your body. Yeah, I know, somebody out there is going, oh my God, she's lost her brain. No, I haven't. Talk to your body. What is making you uncomfortable right now, and what can I do for you? And then listen. You're not going to hear her tell you unless it comes out of your mouth, and it might. You ask your body, what do you need from me right now? And she might actually say, I need you to go for a walk. You may say it out loud. I need you to drink more water. You're dehydrated. That's why you're thinking like this, because it's familiar, because alcohol would dehydrate us. I need you to move. I need more exercise. I need less of this. I need more of this. Our bodies will tell us if we're willing to listen. So I encourage you to try it. And hopefully you don't have too many of these slippery slope moments of your ego trying to trick you. But it does happen. And for me, it only happens in times of disappointment. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, disappointment is probably the main time when that slippery slope, that ego comes in and tries to tell me that I would be okay to drink. But everybody's different, so who knows? Who knows what might actually trigger the ego to try and trick you? But it does. That's part of, and this is my opinion, that is part of the disease of the brain trying to pull you back in. Because, you know, when I had that thought, there's no alcohol in my home. There was no alcohol on the TV show we were watching. And it just popped up. You could do it. You'd be fine. No, I wouldn't. And no, I won't. And no, I didn't. I didn't. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to be sober today. I'm grateful for the line of work that being sober has led me into, and to be able to help people and to be able to share the message of sobriety with other people is pretty special. It's pretty amazing. So I know Spirit has something in store for me around sobriety. I've been talking about that for a little while. I still don't really know what it is. I keep getting in my own way. I know that I have a block around it, and I think I've discovered what that block is, and I just need to maneuver through it and, you know, kind of get over myself and really listen to Spirit and do whatever it is that's being asked of me that I'm blocking right now. Because I really do want to help. I want to help, well, anybody, right? I want to help everybody. I'm a healer, so that's what I do. I want to help. I want to help people learn that they don't have to drink. I want to help people learn and know that there's more to sobriety than just not drinking. There's more to life than just not practicing your addiction. There's more to life than abstaining. And that involves healing. And we have to heal before we can really start living at our highest potential, in our highest vibration, at our highest good. And I want people, whether you are early in sobriety, people who are many years in sobriety and thinking there's more, I need more, I want to go deeper. You can go deeper. And that's how the real healing happens, when you go deep. You go deep inside and you bring Spirit with you. So I think that's a good place to wrap up my little spiel about the ego and that slippery slope of trying to trick you back into your addiction. So I hope this was thought-provoking. And again, if you want to leave a comment, I would appreciate that. If you're on the YouTube channel, and TCS, everydaypsychics.com, is where you can find the contact us form if you want to reach out via email. So take care, be well, until next time, bye.